call-in segment, we would be looking at the issue of the implementation of the 70,000 naira minimum wage across the states, given the current situations and how inflation has exacerbated since that announcement and the signing of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. We'd like to hear from you from the various states if the government, that's the state government of course, or private sector players in your states have commenced the implementation, of this new minimum wage. What is the situation like? And of course, by extension, we would like to know how much the minimum wage can be useful given our current cost of living crisis across the states. The numbers will be displayed on the screen. There are two of them. If you try one and it's not getting through, please do well to reach the second number. You can also reach us via WhatsApp. Leave your message, and you can be sure that we would also read out those messages. So we want to know of the states that are already benefiting. We know, of course, that the Kogi State Governor a couple of days ago announced 72,000 naira minimum wage for the state and the commencement of implementation. We understand that Edo State is also within that category. We want to know if you're a civil servant from any of the 36 states, please do well to reach us. Let us understand what the situations are. And if there are not started implementations, if you have been communicated on when the start dates would be, you can also share that information with us. Let us look at how much the minimum wage can do to help households ameliorate the difficulties that they seem to be contending, especially given the continuous rise in energy prices with all that is going on within that sector.
I love that question you asked. Is the 70,000 naira minimum wage a reality in the economy today? Because the bag of rice is beyond 70,000 naira. I don't think you could even cook adequately or sort out necessary things with just 70,000 naira. So yes, it's almost like it was a take this and doing this behind the back of the people to sabotage the amounts being given. Because at the end of the day, you can't use the amount for anything tangible. You can't use the money to sort out your personal issues. But that's why we want to hear, from Nigerians, is it even possible for state governments to be able to pay this particular amount? We see that the former 30,000 naira was still being owed. People were still being owed salaries from time to time, and some governors could not pay. Now, prior to this, when the minimum wage of 70,000 naira was approved, we still found governors coming out to lament that they won't be able to pay the said amount. So at this point in time, if they can't, how would they expect people to survive? We had, I don't know if it was with you, where we had Benson Upa from Labour talking about it, and we asked what are the laws put in place for states who would default and for private companies who would default. It's time for it to take effect. Has those laws kicked in to take effect to make sure people actually get their said minimum wage? Are people benefiting from this like they should? And would it help or alleviate any form of economic hardship they are facing? Would it make any difference to their pockets?
When that conversation was raging, there were quite a number of divergent views. As an individual, not the views of Trust TV, of course, I was of the opinion that I would rather you pay me an amount that is valuable. I would rather live in a situation where the economic conditions, the microeconomic conditions are very good, where your 30,000 naira can meet your needs, rather than give me 150,000 naira that amounts basically to nothing. And those were some of the arguments, around whether we want more money or we want value for money. And those things have continued. 70,000 naira felt like an almighty point for the government. But I mean, if you drive a 2.0 liter engine vehicle, for you to fill your tank, you basically will have to spend the minimum wage. We saw some of the videos making the rounds around how people needed 72 or thereabout to fill tanks. Some people need 40,000 naira to do it. It means if you buy the fuel twice, you're out of the minimum
adding
wage.
more. You're adding an extra 10,000 naira to the minimum wage.
If you have an average family like mine, with a father and mother and 3 children, if you have to do 1,000 naira daily for 30 days, 70,000 naira will disappear. I understand we have our first caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm so delighted for you to have this program openly to everybody.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think we don't need...
Can we have your name and where you're calling from, please, sir?
Okay, I'm James from Kaduna.
Thank you very much, sir. Go ahead.
We don't need added money, but we need value of the money. We need value of the money. And the only way that the value of the money can come is to reduce the fuel price to the minimum. There is no any crime for us to buy a liter of oil at the rate of 200 naira. It is our property. It's the service and every other thing, paying the workers in the NNPC that matters. So even the private owner that meant well for Nigeria, the NNPC is against them. It's against Dangote. God raised Dangote to do something for the liberation of Nigeria. But there, Dangote and the presidency are the problem. No, I mean, the NNPC and the presidency are the problem, not Dangote. Dangote intended lower price for us, Nigerians, the masses, to enjoy. But the NNPC say Dangote is spoiling their market because they are earning a lot. Even their retiree, even a cleaner in the NNPC is going out after retiring with not less than 60 million, 70 million. We, the civil servants, we are not even our money, the whole total money, a senior officer, not even junior. When you are retired, you don't have up to 10 million. You don't have, and that 10 million, they will even divide it into two and give you the little one, which you cannot build house for yourself. 35 years in service, you can't build house for yourself. And they are there eating money, destroying Nigeria. They say they are futuristic, which is not realistic. If they are talking of the future of our children, what of us that are alive? Our children have destiny. We have our own destiny. We are the one to grow them up to their destiny. Then if we are not alive, how can they get to their destiny?
All right.
So let them stop disturbing and then deceiving people. God is aware of everything that is happening. And if they are not ready to change, God will intervene for the masses.
Thank you very much, Mr. James, from Colin.
From Kaduna.
From Kaduna.
In as much as we're waiting for God to intervene, God has given us the will. So we're supposed to use the will and intervene and do the right thing. Know the law of what the right leaders in power when it's time for election. Take off the mindset that your vote does not count, because to an extent it just might. But with what he has said, talking about how the money is not even enough and making... Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mbede Gideon. I'm calling from Benue State.
Mbede, thank you for joining us. Go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts.
Thank you. On the issue of this minimum wage, I want us to look at it with a holistic view. The 72,000 naira, what can it do? As in, okay, you come in and you are earning 72,000 naira monthly. You know what a bag price is up to now. You know what a liter of oil is about now. And you see how things in the market are very high. So the 72,000 naira to me is nothing compared to what we are facing now. Okay, assuming you have a motorbike and you're going to a place of work, you are buying a liter of fuel 1,200 naira. Okay, 1,200 naira. How many liters can it buy for you with that 72,000 naira? Okay, you are still going to eat. You will pay your house rent. You will pay for, if you have children, you're going to pay for your child's school fees and so many other things. In fact, there's something is alarming. The 72,000 naira will not amount to anything. And at any time, this 72,000 naira is being implemented.
Mr. Ngbede, may I ask if you are a civil servant, and if yes is your answer, have they started implementation in Benue State?
I've not gotten anything, sir.
Okay. But
yes,
are you a civil servant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please kindly finish your thought.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Hello?
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. The 72,000 naira cannot do anything for us. We should stop deceiving ourselves. And what the problem we are having in Nigeria is our politicians. In fact, democracy, to me, has gone a long way in destroying us. And democracy has put us in what we are today. And I don't think, as a Nigerian, to me, it's a personal opinion, democracy has done us more harm than good.
Thank you very much, Ngbede. Yes, thank you very much, Ngbede, so that we can take more calls. I think the points you made are very clear.
All right. Well, I don't know how we tilted to democracy on that, but I understand that it's the heart of Nigerians.
If you are in a system that is not delivering the goods, it is not completely out of place to question
everything about it,
whether or not what you seem to be doing is the right thing. The bigger question, however, is it a function of democracy, or the way we have adulterated the version of democracy that we seem to practice with regards to corruption?
Hello.
And delivering. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from. We can hear you, please.
Emmanuel from Otuko in Benue State.
Mr. Emmanuel from Otuko, please go ahead.
Yes. We are talking of this 70,000 minimum.
Yes.
How are they considering the pensioners and all that? Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, we can hear you. Go ahead.
How are they considering the price of all the pensioners and the other?
Mr. Emmanuel, I wish...
As regards the 70,000 minimum, because if they start it, how then do we still join the market and the terrible market of this time? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel, for bringing up that very important perspective to this conversation, which is what becomes the plight of pensioners as far as the implementation of this new minimum wage. I think with the minimum wage increase, there's supposed to be a proportionate increase for defined benefit scheme. In other words, those who draw their pensions from the state government, different from the other scheme, which is the contributory pension scheme, which is you are basically drawing from what you have contributed. That value does not grow. It is what you have gathered over your period of active service that you then draw up for the remaining part of your for the remaining part of your life on it. But for the defined benefit scheme, it is the government that still draws on its purse to take care of its pensioners, and I'm sure usually when there is a review, that will impact on it. It depends on what you are benefiting from. I hope what I have said provides some kind of education, but it makes sense to bring up this concern because, if you have saved up something that gives you only 20,000 naira monthly in today's Nigeria as a pensioner, where you can have 2, 3, 4 graduates in your house who are not engaged and still depending on you, then that can be some very serious challenge. And, and that leads to the argument around the government putting palliatives in place that have direct impact on the life of Nigerians, like the CNG buses. But we'll delve more into this after this call. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, my name is Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Mr. Shetima from Maiduguri, it's a pleasure as always to have you join us this morning. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Sunday.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So,
please.
About the minimum wage. Well, essentially speaking, we see the whole of the cow, but we do not see the cow. Because here they only inaugurate a committee to look at the implementation of the minimum wage. So we don't know for all this delay from the delay in the state level. This 70,000 minimum wage, it is just a token change as far as the economy is concerned. You cannot call it even minimum wage. It's a disgrace to the Nigerian workers, and it's a disgrace to the nation at home. Why? Because the poorest countries in Africa, they are paying better. They are paying their workers better than Nigeria. Look at the wealth that we have in this country. Look at how rich we are. We are calling ourselves rich country, but with poor people. We are creating poverty, artificial poverty to ourselves. I don't know why. These our governors and our central level management, they are not doing well. They are not helping matters. They should be a God. Nobody will take wealth and go to the next world with it. Whatever you get, you leave it here. So you have to be nice to your subjects. You have to be good to the whole nation. Look at the bag of rice. How much is the bag of rice now? After this plot, I went to buy a bag of rice. They are telling me that 120,000.
Wow.
So what is 70,000 will do for you? And look at the school fee. Look at the cost of the petroleum. So they were praying for God to touch their hearts to do something better for the Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shatima. And I hope the flood situation in Maiduguri is now completely receded.
Well, Alhamdulillah, people are trying to go back to their settlements. I know one of the people, they don't have land now, they don't have a house, a shelter. The flood have damaged their houses.
We hope that some of the contributions that are coming from well-meaning Nigerians to support the rebuilding of shelters that were completely destroyed are deployed with fairness and the fear of God, as we always say in this part of the world. Thank you very much for your contributions this morning. I mean, the
point he made reminded me of the question you asked NLC when they came here. You said the moment the cost of fuel was increased, the moment the president declared that fuel subsidy was removed, that was when they should have come out to start speaking, not waiting for the cost of fuel to increase and then negotiating a supposed minimum wage that has no impact on the lives of the people. And this is exactly what we're seeing. Just like you said it, this is what we're seeing today. This minimum was negotiated, but the other things around it were not put in place. The cost of fuel is increasing, the cost of food items are increasing. People cannot afford to eat what they used to. People can't afford to feed. There is a problem.
The program are just raging. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, I'm Comrade Jonathan from Cross River State.
Where in Cross River State? Good morning, Jonathan. Where in Cross River State are you calling from?
Boki local government area precisely.
Boki local government. How is Boki this morning?
Boki is calm and cool. It's only rain that we have. There is rain. Nowhere.
All right.
With the rains, have we started seeing some harvest yet with the maize and one or two stable crops?
You said in regards of the minimum wage?
No, I'm talking about rains and the situation in Boki. Have we started seeing some harvest?
Yes, Boki, we deal with cocoa. We are harvesting cocoa and the rest. We have been doing it.
Oh, interesting. Thank you very much. Please go ahead and share your perspective.
All right. Like in regards of the minimum wage, which we are saying, in Boki precisely, and that's in Cross River State precisely, the governor have never mentioned even the months that they are going to start. The committee is not being set up to say we should start expecting. You know that there is nothing there. The 70,000 can never carry anybody to anywhere. In Cross River State, like now, we are buying fuel 1,250 naira per liter. 1,350 where I am. And if you want to travel from Boki to Calabar at the state headquarters, you pay 18,000 naira. That is within the state. You pay 18,000 naira from Boki to Calabar.
What's the distance between Boki and Calabar?
Like 6 hours.
That is not all that. It's because of the bad roads. The road is not good. So the drivers now, if you want to board a vehicle from Boki to Calabar now, it will take you can spend more than 8 hours going to Calabar because of there's no good routes. spend more than 8 hours. That is a journey who were spending 3 hours latest, 3 hours 30 minutes to get to Calabar. But now you spend up to 8 hours. So there's no good roads. The roads are totally bad. So the minimum wage aspect, like they are saying, Cross River State for now, till now, Cross River State, the governor have never mentioned anything about minimum wage to the workers. We are just still here like that. So I'm advising that the federal government, if you actually say something, you need to follow up to the state level so that you make sure that every state did what you said they should do. Right now, some states are paid, some are going to pay in the next, but we in Cross River State, we are still just like that. We are just blind. We don't even know what is going on. The whole thing is just like that. We are not hearing anything about it again.
All right.
So that's the situation in Cross River State.
All right. Thank you very much, Christopher, for that. Thank you for calling us all the way from Buki. It's good to have your opinion here on the show. With what he said, I remember traveling back then from Buki to Calabar, and I was like, why would it be so far? Like he said, 3-4 hours, and the road was good then. I know Buki was one local government that would pride themselves with good roads back then. Beautiful forest, green vegetation, someplace you'd look forward to traveling to. But I can't imagine being on a road for 8 hours within the state, paying over 18 to 20,000 naira within the state, and then you're telling me that minimum wage is 70,000 naira.
If you do Buki to Calabar and back, half of the minimum wage
is gone. All right, let's take this call again. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Lilian Bichi. I'm calling from Bichi.
A caller from Bichi. I didn't get your name, please.
Yes, I'm calling from Bichi, Kano State.
Your name, please.
Yes. My name is Lawal Bichi, as I say.
Lawal, Marin Lawal, good morning. Please go ahead and share your perspective.
Good morning, how are you?
Thank you.
And I called to give my contribution to this minimum wage issue.
Please go ahead.
Even the minimum 17,000, it's not much if you consider the hike of commodities, the petroleum, even the transportation. Like me here in Bichi, if I wanted to go to Kano to report to my office, you see, I spend 1,000 and go and 1,000 came back 2,000. If you calculate the amount that I spend in the transportation, 20 days, it means I spend how much?
40,000. Yeah.
If you, the minimum has already come.
But have they started implementations in Kano?
No, they don't start the implementation in this in our state here.
That's right.
Although I'm not a state civil servant, I'm federal civil servant.
Okay. Are you self-employed or you work for a private firm?
No, I'm working in the government.
Oh, you work in the government. All right. Please go ahead.
Yes. And I didn't receive the new minimum wage also.
Okay.
So what I see is that even the minimum wage is too small for the middlemen like me who have a family with the children. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lower.
Thank you very much
for your perspective. I think the message is clear that the amount is too small. But like I said, I would like us to look at all of the spectrum of this conversation. What would we rather, at this material point in time? An economy where we have a currency with a strong purchasing power, where that can do more for us rather than have this huge quantum of money that does nothing but in itself just spirals inflation, because the more money you have, and there's an understanding by these guys who trade that you have more money, they simply just add to the value of their crop under the pretense that the dollar has shot to 1,600. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Mr. Lawrence Paul from Niger State.
Mr. Lowell?
Lawrence Paul.
Lawrence, all right. What part of Niger are you calling from, please?
Mina in particular.
Oh, nice. Please go ahead, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I don't want to say that this new minimum wage is a mirage in this country was just unfortunate. Because why I said so is the minimum wage has not been implemented, and then the cost of living has skyrocketed. You understand? So then what is the essence of the minimum wage? In fact, some of the states up to today, some states are not even talking about this implementation of this new minimum wage. For God's sake, how did our leaders want the masses to survive in this country? Within Mina Metropolitan, if you are moving from a distance of just, let's say 1 kilometer, honestly, on a keke napep, you understand, you paid up to 200, 250. If you're going from Mina to Suleja, you are paying over 4,000 naira. Something that used to be 800 naira before.
600 actually.
So you can imagine what in fact yesterday I'm telling you, I went to Suleja yesterday from Mina. I was surprised. I paid up to 4,000 naira to go to Suleja.
One way.
Just one way, my brother, one way. So what are we talking about?
By the way, for context to our readers, Mina to Suleja is just under 100 kilometers. Yeah.
Wow. That is it. Less than 100 kilometers. So you can imagine, let's assume you are working in Suleja and then you are staying in Mina. Then if you're going to and fro, you are paying almost 8,000 naira. So please, I am just begging our leaders to at least see the face of Nigerian masses, how they are suffering. We can't eat, they can't transport, they can't go anywhere. In fact, where is the job for menial jobs to do? There is none. People are not even building these days, you understand, because the building materials have skyrocketed. Nobody is doing anything. Everything is standstill in this country. Honestly, I am sorry to say, honestly, this country, things are not moving at all. We are not operating like a nation, a sovereign nation, you understand? It's just like please let me reserve my comment.
Thank you very much.
I'm emotional, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It is difficult not to get emotional when you discuss the Nigerian topic. Where are you going to look? Is it the cost of living? Is it transportation? Is it the cost of food? Is it the school fees that are increasing? Is it house rents that have jumped over the roof? What exactly is the silver lining from being a Nigerian? And sometimes it comes like a joke, but it would be unfair that you live in this country under this condition for some 40, 50 odd years, and then in the hereafter, somebody tells you to go to hell. This is hell enough, and that's the argument that some persons have made. This is as worse as things can get, and you only hope that things begin to get better, and we have to be deliberate about making things better. It's been over 1 year since the CNG buses were promised. We need to see them working and bringing down cost of transportation to help people live better.
Good morning. Let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Ali Bukar. I'm calling from Daybreak in Borno State.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead. What's your take?
Yes, I called to make my contribution in respect of the minimum wage.
Please go ahead.
The so-called minimum wage has become an issue. People have increased the prices of goods and services. Many things are happening. While this issue of minimum wage has not been implemented in many states. Today we are talking of 70,000. There are some states that have not implemented even the 30,000 naira.
Yeah.
So to those workers that are in that state, they are on, if they will be even happy for 30,000 to be implemented, not even of 70,000 naira. Go to school, you see school fees has been increased, everything has been increased. When you ask, they will tell you minimum wage. Well, that 70,000 naira cannot do anything to an ordinary worker.
True.
This is something that the NLC demanded for 615,000. I look at the amount they arrive at. Somebody that is asking for 615, you are giving him 70,000 naira. And even this 70,000 naira, look at what happened in September. People are expecting they will see something good, but we just see something 40,000 naira across the board, whether you are in level 1, level 17, or whatever, it's 40,000 naira.
That's the wage award, isn't it?
No, it's not wage award. They call it minimum wage because the spokesperson of the Accountant General said they have paid minimum wage in September. This is what they say, they pay minimum wage in September.
So how is 40,000?
And we're expecting arrears of 5 months because they say the minimum wage will start on 1st May as they announced.
Okay.
And later we hear from them, they say it will start from August. So the remaining, the backlog, they now change it from minimum wage arrears to to palliatives.
Oh.
Instead to pay for the palliatives, no palliatives. In fact, what is happening in Nigeria, in fact, the workers have been put in artificial poverty. This poverty is created by government. Look at the arrears of the 25% we're talking about. Some are owing government for 12 months, some are owing for 8 months. Look at the arrears of palliatives, look at the arrears of minimum wage now. At least let them pay for even one part of it now, so that the workers will breathe.
All right, thank you there for that.
Look at what is happening. The 70,000 workers, in fact, some of these people that are implementing this thing, even their dogs, they cannot feed their dogs with 70,000 naira monthly.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Thank you for your contribution. At this point, you have to eat first before you think of owning a dog. Otherwise,
it's luxury.
It's luxury at this point in time. But, like he said, what exactly would 70,000 naira do for you as an average Nigerian? Or you coming from transportation to cost of food to taking care of your children and the family, household items. 70,000 naira is something, it can't go anywhere. A lot needs to be put in place beyond that amount to better the lives of Nigerians at this point in time.
Painfully, the jury is out on this one, whether it is in the implementation or even the inadequacy of the amount or the just unbearable cost of living occasioned by the very high inflation, core inflation, or even food inflation levels, in addition to an exchange rate that seems to be dancing from one point to the other as we speak. All of these factors, the government must find a way to address head on. The Senate President talked about a Marshall Plan, that can get this economy back to where people want to see it. And for that to happen, the government and the citizenry must be in one accord, to get this economy back to working ways. And that's how much we have on our call-in segment.